Hello, and welcome back. In the last two episodes, we set the goal of obtaining my first ever quest cape, and we have succeeded. If you remember in the first episode, I mentioned that once I obtained the quest cape, I'd like to build up my bank and go for my first ever Infernal Cape. Welcome to Chapter 2, Infernal Prep. My bank is currently sitting at around 300 mil, but I need more gold as I have some items and stats I'd like to obtain in order to try for my first ever Infernal Cape. I've watched a lot of videos on players obtaining their first cape, and I've settled on a setup that I think would be budget friendly and give me a serious shot at my first run. These are the items and stats I'd like to obtain before I step foot into Zuck's lair. I'm just an average old school RuneScape player returning to the game. But can average achieve such a feat? After completing my quest cape, the first bit of content I was really eager to get into was learning the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is a great way for new players getting into PvM who might not have the best banks or the best gear to do some serious content. Here you can go in pretty much naked, you gather your resources, and then you take on the boss here, the Hunlif. And I gotta say, it is super addicting. This was my first time trying this, so I didn't want to jump right into Corrupteds. I just wanted to get a feel for the boss mechanics, get a feel for the room layouts, and I gotta say I got hooked really quick. And I just wanted to really build my confidence here on the original Gauntlet before I jumped into the Corrupteds. So this is my second kill here, and you can see it's decent loot, and I wanted to also start collecting crystal shards as I did this. So I noticed that I've been completing the regular Gauntlet pretty easily, so I'd like to really maximize my crystal shards as well as my loot. So I'm going to try to send my first corrupted gauntlets. Wish me luck. Hell yes, we did it. First one. Another one, baby. Another one bites the dust. Let's see, what do we get? Huge. And our third kill. Not the best loot, but we'll take the shards. So I felt satisfied with my ability to complete the corrupted gauntlet. I did 17 regular gauntlets before I attempted my first CGs, and then finished 15 corrupted gauntlets for the total loot that you see on the screen. I wanted to check in with my bank. I knew I had a decent amount of crystal shards and should just have enough for a bofa. I liquidated some items in my loot tab and penny pinched to just have enough for my first crystal set and a bofa. Buying these items ticks off some completions for our Infernal set, and the Bofa and Crystal Armor set will also help us gain more GP as it's a great set to farm a lot of other bosses. I had just enough GP to buy one teleport seed to break down into more shards. With these armor seeds and shards, I was able to create my first ever crystal body and legs and charge my Bofa with nearly 10,000 shots. I didn't have enough gold or shards for the crystal helm, but still had my serpentine helm, so I had my eyes set on Zora as the first boss to farm in order to obtain the helm for max set bonus. I had never done Zora with just a Bofa, but after my first few kills, it was absolutely the freest GP. I went on to kill 52 Zora, unfortunately not hitting one of the unique drops, but the scales and other loot is so consistent that it added up quickly. I also went back to the gauntlet to farm some more crystal shards and gold because I had my eyes set on the crystal helm. The crystal helm would give me the final piece to unlocking full crystal, giving me the max set bonus for better damage and accuracy. This would open up another boss for me as well, the Phantom Muspa, and another item checked off our infernal list. This is my first kill with Thralls and the full crystal set, and the difference in damage is absolutely insane. I also just really enjoy this boss. Of course, I'm not recording the drop, but I got absolutely spoon fed here. 9 KC Venator Shard. Huge. I took that shard right to the GE, liquidated some items, and bought myself an Anguish and Suffering. Another item checked off our list. On screen here is my 12th and 13th ever hard clue on this account. And right here is the first ever elite clue scroll done. I didn't even have mimics unlocked. That's how newbie I am to clue scrolls. There's 25 Muspa completed. We are halfway to the drop rate for the medallion or icon. I went on to kill a decent amount of Muspa. Not only was I looking for gold here with Venator shards and its other drops, but I also need the ancient icon, which when used on an ancient staff increases the effects of all ancient spells. You can then take it a step further and kill the DT2 bosses for different quartz, which enhance those effects to a greater degree. For me, I will need the blood quartz from Vardovis to overheal with blood spells in the Inferno. Oh my gosh, KC36 icon, let's go. Alright, baby. Let's do it. Let's go. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. One of the most important things you can do when rebuilding or gaining gold is herb runs with the farming skill. I'm able to plant 9 seeds every cycle. I'm currently 96 farming, so I'm doing torstals for the most XP per herb. I can get anywhere between 2 to 400k a run. Here in one run, I gained 76 torstals, giving me 220k. One thing I have always enjoyed doing since I started nearly 20 years ago on RuneScape is clanning. I've been in a number of PvM clans, but most importantly, have always had my foot in some type of PvP clan. There is no better feeling than squatting up with your homies and taking on the wilderness. I break up a lot of my PvM, questing, and skilling by sprinkling in some PK trips. Not only is it a ton of fun, but the wilderness is very active these days in multi. You can come out with some pretty good loot as well. On screen is a big multi-fight up at Graders versus another clan called Infliction. Both clans go head to head calling targets, locations, pushes, etc. until one clan stops returning to the fight or gets cleared. PvP content creators like Odablock, 61M, Eliop, Abyss will also mass their teams different nights of the week, making for some large-scale fights and a lot of fun. A huge thanks to guys like them for showing a large audience the fun parts of the wilderness. With my Botha acquired, I had my eyes on a boss I have never killed in my history of RuneScape, Commander Zoyana, the Saradomin God Wars boss. Commander Zoyana does not have the most consistent drops for gaining gold, but on her loot table are some heavy hitters that can really jumpstart a rebuild. If a player rolls an Armadyl crossbow or Saradomin hilt, it's big smiles all around. I farmed up some ecumenical keys to bypass the kill count requirement to enter the lair, and learned some kiting methods that worked best for my playstyle. My first trip, I killed 10 commanders before I needed to bank. I then switched out my blood barrages for thralls to have a little buddy coming to my aid. The extra inventory and damage seemed to work better for me. I also brought a blowpipe to heal with the spec, and a Serp Helm to tag the minions in the beginning to tick venom on them as I kited Zoyana around the room. My next trip I went on to kill 15 commanders, and then the trips after averaged between 16 and 20 kills. I went on to kill 69 commanders with the ecumenical keys I acquired, and unfortunately did not hit a unique, but I had a lot of fun here and want to keep Zoyana in my rebuild rotation. I've been having a lot of fun getting clue scroll drops. Here's a hard clue I got from the commander, and my first ever medium clue that I do not remember where I got it from. A lot of Muspa, snakes, and commanders were slain. My crystal armor and Bofa were running out of charges. This was a prime opportunity for me to learn tier 1 corrupted gauntlet, which just means lower tier armor so I take more damage, but I can focus less on prepping, which leads to quicker kills. I crashed and burned a few times with the lower tier armor, but then locked in and started getting it down. This got my CG KC to 20 and enough crystal shards to replenish the arsenal. I'm really enjoying this boss, I'm getting pretty good at it. But here we should have 40 kill count. Yes, sir. And hell yeah, we got an elite clue. Another elite clue, baby. Let's go. Easy game. Oh, hell yeah, we got a frozen cache, baby. Collection log. Let's see. I have no idea what you can get in this. Another icon, dude. That's gotta be good. Let's go. Okay, Muspa, Elite Clue, number 2. Hell yes, Collection Log, Black Body, D'hide, T. Muspa, another Elite, baby. Number 3. We're gonna get so many clogs. Here we go, here's another one. Pest Control teleports, nice. I hope you guys enjoyed the process so far in building up the bank. Chapter 2 of Infernal Prep may take some time as I need a decent amount of gold to feel comfortable enough with the setup that I want. We learned Corrupted Gauntlets, Muspa, and Sarah in this episode. These will continue to fuel the grind. Thank you to everybody who has left a comment, subscribed, liked, or even shared my video with friends. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We have the winners from last week's giveaway. Each of you on screen here adds Sir Evan in-game, and I will give you each your 10 mil. Thank you so much for the support, and I will see you guys in the next one.